Hey guys, Bonus here, and I'm back for 5.4. Really excited to be back. I've got plenty of PVE guides and PvP guides coming out. Literally, just leave comments under the videos on what guides you'd like me to make, whether it be gold making, pet taming, PvP or PvE. Right, let's get back on track. In this guide, I'm going to be covering the Hunter PvE for 5.4, and the spec I'll be covering today is Survival. Right, let's take a look at this graph. This just shows about all the PvE specs and how they stand at the moment compared to one another. As we can see down the side, we have the KDPS and the item level at the bottom. Survival is in blue, Marksman is in green, and Beast Mastery is in red. If we look at the 528 item level gear, Survival is ahead on 206k DPS, Beast Mastery is 201, and Marksmanship is 189, so Marksmanship lacking quite early. Item level 536, which is upgraded looking for raid gear. As we can see, Survival on top again, followed by Beast Mastery, and then Marksmanship. Now for the 553 gear, which is tier 16, normal, Survival again on top on 278k DPS, 273k DPS for Beast Mastery, and 260 for Marksman. So Marksman always behind here, not very good. Right, now we look at best in slot. Now things change here. As you can see, the Beast Mastery is now top on 419k DPS, Survival on 411, and Marksman on 388. So, to be honest, I advise playing Survival until you have best in slot, because as you can see by this graph, this is realistic DPS, meaning that DPS that we can achieve, not the maximum DPS which is done by raid bots, which there's no human error in it, so we don't really look at the maximum, we just look at realistic. So yeah, play Survival until best in slot, and then play Beast Mastery after. Right, cheers. Right, let's move on to some stat priority for 5.4 for Survival Hunters. Basically, stats are the core of your character, and how you choose to balance those stats will greatly impact the effectiveness of your hunter. Okay, so the main stat priority for Survival goes as follows: Agility, then Expertise 7.5%, Range Hit, which is 7.5%, then Crit, then Haste, then finally Mastery. Right, okay, let's go over some stat summaries for you. Basically, Agility increases all damage dealt and slightly increases a critical chance. Expertise 7.5%. The Expertise cap of 7.5% or 2,550 rating will eliminate your attacks from being dodged. Basically, to view all this information, just open up your character panel and make sure it's 7.5%. Ranged hit, again, 7.5%. Hit rating increases your chance to hit, and at 7.5% range hit, 2,550 rating, your special abilities can no longer miss on bosses. Check that you have 7.5% or you will lose DPS. Right, next is Crit. Increases the chance for your attacks to be critically hit for an additional damage, which is 200%. So it's doubling your normal attack abilities and special abilities. The next one is Haste, and this decreases the cast time for such abilities such as Cobra Shot. Also causes you to auto attack faster and increases focus regeneration. So that is quite a nice stat. And finally, at the bottom is Mastery. Essence of the Viper increases magical damage by 8%, and for every 600 Mastery equals 1% more damage. So for example, 6,000 Mastery would be 10% plus 8%, which is 18% more damage. But you really don't want Mastery, it's not very good. Basically, Blizzard need to up the Mastery for it to be more effective, else it's just a really bad stat. Right, okay, let's move on to some reforging, gems and enchants. Okay, when reforging, make sure to stick to the stat priority, okay? So that's Agility, then Expertise, which is 7.5%, Range Hit, 7.5%, then Crit, then Haste, then Mastery. After reaching the Hit and Expertise cap, make sure to max out your secondary stats. Right, let's move on to some enchants. For the shoulders, the Greater Tiger Claw, which is plus 200 Agility, plus 100 Crit. The Cloak Accuracy, which is 180 hit, and the Cloak Superior Critical Strike, which is 180 crit. For the chest, make sure to pick Glorious Stats, which is plus 80 to all stats. Braces, greater agility equals 180 agility. For the gloves, use superior expertise if you still need it for the cat. Other than that, put on the greater haste enchant for 170 ace. There is 170 mastery, but if you look at the stat priority, mastery is right down at the bottom and haste is second, so I'd rather you pick haste over mastery. For the belt, a living steel belt buckle, which creates an additional gem socket. Usually you just put a straight red gem in there. For the legs, I'd like you to use the shadow leather leg armor, which is 285 agility plus 165 crit. For boots, blurred speed, which is increased movement speed and 180 agility. For the weapon, use the Lord Blastington Scope of Doom, which sometimes increases agility by 1800 for 10 seconds. Okay, now for some gems. For the meta gem, I'd like you to use the Agile Primal Diamond, which is plus 216 agility, plus 3% increased critical damage. Or use the legendary meta gem, which is plus 324 crit, and the chance to gain capacitance. Next up is a prismatic socket, which I'd like you to use delicate primordial rubies, which is plus 180 agility. Next is the blue sockets, which can either be glinting imperial aethermis, which is plus 80 agility, plus 160 hit, or the accurate imperial aethermis, which is 160 hit and 160 expertise. The red gem sockets, I'd like you to use the delicate primordial rubies, which is 160 agility, and for the yellow ones, the deadly vermilion onyx, which is plus 80 agility, plus 180 crit, and the deft vermilion onyx, which is plus 80 agility, plus 180 haste. Okay guys, so in this part of the video I'm going to be covering some talent builds and glyphs for 5.4 for your hunter. I'll be covering the main DPS talents, okay? Talents and glyphs, they give you the flexibility to tweak your survival hunter to a variety of encounters. So, you know, one boss you could need that set of talents, this boss another one, so you might still need to change them, but in this video I'll give you the basic main DPS talents. Okay, let's start at level 15. What we'll go for is the Crouching Tiger Hidden Chimera. Okay, this actually reduces the cooldown of disengage by 10 seconds, giving you 10-second disengages, which is pretty overpowered. If you need to get out of some stuff, you can do that every 10 seconds, and it reduces the cooldown of deterrence by 60 seconds. So you have 2 charges for 2 minutes with a 2-minute cooldown. The next level, level 30 talents, I would go for Binding Shot. If you're at a fight where you need to control adds, Binding Shot will be perfect, because if they move away from the area, they all get stunned. Wave and Sting, can't really see much use in that, and Intimidation, no, just stunning one ad won't really help. Next, level 45 talents. Okay, I think that Spirit Bond is actually going to be better than Aspect of the Iron Hawk, just because of everybody's health now. Obviously, when everyone's going to be fully geared or gearing up, you know, you're going to be around about 600k health, so 3% of your total health every 2 seconds. That's quite a lot of healing during an encounter. But then again, Aspect of the Iron Hawk, 10% damage the whole fight. We'll have to just play around with them and see which one works out best. For the level 60 talents, for Survival, Dire Beast gives you a nice bit of damage, and you'll gain focus whenever your Dire Beast attacks a target, which is always good. More focus, more damage. Love it. Level 75 talents. I would definitely go for Murder of Crows. It's had a 40% damage buff. I've seen a lot of people have Blink Strikes, but in my eyes, Blink Strike more suits a Beast Mastery hunter, considering a lot of the Beast Mastery's damage is from the pet. So, yep, but we'll go into that another time. And for the level 90 talent is Glaive Toss. 15-second cooldown, 15 focus. It's the #1 choice for me. Power Shot just takes too long to cast, and Barrage, it's quite close, but I would definitely go for Glaive Toss. Right, let's move on to some pets. Okay, there's 3 different specs your pet can be. Ferocity, which I want you to spec your pet, which is damage, and you gain Rabid Dash Combat Experience, which increases all your damage by your pet by 50%, and Spiked Collar. Tennessee is more of a tanking pet, don't really want to use that. And culling is more of a survivability, again, don't really want to use that one, so you definitely go for ferocity. Right, we'll move on to some glyphs now. The 3 glyphs that I've got is Glyph of No Escape. This has actually been buffed, and it now, say, any trash mobs or any mobs that need AoE down, put your frost trap down and it gives you 100% crit. That's right, 100% crit. It's absolutely fantastic. The Glyph of Deterrence, which increases your damage reduction by a further 20%, so now you're taking 50% less damage whilst using Deterrence. And then Animal Bond, which gives you and your pet an extra 10% all healing, and because you've gone for Spirit Bond, that increases that by 10% as well. So overall you get some nice own heals. For the lesser glyphs, I would go for Glyph of Aspect of the Cheetah. This no longer causes you to be dazed if you get hit. This is good if you have to kite ads, you need to get somewhere very quickly, so you don't get dazed, your aspects just go on a 4-second cooldown. The other 2 are kind of, they're not really that important, but I've just gone for Glyph of Stampede, just changes all the pets the same, and Revive Pet, it just stops you receiving pushback if your pet dies by 100%. Okay guys, it's time for the DPS rotation and cooldowns for 5.4. Maintaining a proper rotation and using the right cooldowns is essential to maximising your survival hunter. Okay, so first of all, we want to maintain the Hunter's Mark and Serpent Sting at all times. Use Explosive Shot every time it's off cooldown. When lock and load procs, quickly cast 3 explosive shots. Okay, so I've had a lot of arguments with this on my last guide about casting 3 explosive shots. Okay, if you cast 3 explosive shots, you will still get the damage, but you'll get it in 8 ticks. The last tick will basically just double up on the last damage. So honestly, the best way to do this is quickly cast 3 explosive shots, okay? If there comes a chance when you have 4 explosive shots, say if you've just fired one, then you get a proc, wait for that first explosive shot to tick off, then quickly use 3 again. Okay, use Kill Shot, Black Arrow and Glaive Toss on cooldown. Cast Cobra Shot whilst waiting on cooldowns to refresh Serpent Sting. Use Arcane Shot to dump focus, but make sure you reserve 40 focus for Black Arrow, so when it's just about to come off cooldown you can quickly reapply it. Okay, so the AoE rotation goes as follows. For less than 5 mobs, just stick to the single target rotation. For more than 5 mobs, just make sure to use multi-shot, explosive trap, Black Arrow, explosive shot, everything you've got. Keep your multi-shot up because it gives you Serpent Spread, and that puts Serpent Sting on all mobs, which is massive DPS. Some effective cooldowns. These are some of the effective cooldowns, obviously, if you choose them in your talent build. You've got Murder of Crows, use that on cooldown. Dire Beast, use that on cooldown for extra focus and damage. Some of your pet abilities, like Rabid, use that on cooldown. Stack with Rapid Fire or Bloodlust. Don't use both. Rapid Fire use on every cooldown. Do not stack with Bloodlust, okay? If you put it on top of Bloodlust, you just get an extra haste. You won't really need it. What you want to do is put it on before or after, just to get the maximum benefit of all the haste, more focus, more damage. Stampede, use as often as possible, usually on the pull and somewhere in the middle of the fight. Okay guys, this is just a quick video on the DPS rotation. First of all, I just want you to put the Hunter's Mark on. Then I want you to go Serpent Sting, Explosive Shot, Black Arrow, Dire Beast, Glaive Toss, Stampede, Rapid Fire, do the 3 explosive shots, Murder of Crows, and keep repeating. Make sure you've got at least 40 focus for your Black Arrow, 35 focus, Glaive Toss again, and keep your Cobra Shot up just to give you focus. Ready for the Black Arrow, there we go. And lock and load proc again, 3 in a row. Cobra Shot, more focus, Dire Beast, Glaive Toss. Okay guys, thanks for watching. I just want to state that this is very early 5.4, so some of the stats may change. I will keep you updated though, but please sub, like and comment. Alright, thanks for watching. Cheers.